Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and on my immediate right, we have Miss Measha Porter, and on my left, affectionately, our aging rocker, Emmett. And this time we're just going to have fun because I got my little ray gun.
Yeah, you see, it's one of those things. If I'm over there, it's not fun.
Let's get her.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah. So we have our target here.
Yeah.
Misha's our target here.
Yeah.
We talked about Special Olympics in the last episode, and I wish you well there, young lady. We'll probably pick with you today, but you know, that's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Emmett, you can start us off.
Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, thank you, and bless our food and time again in Jesus' name.
And I'm in total agreement. Okay, let's do our traditional. Have you ever heard this song, Misha, besides me playing it?
That's daytime.
This Guy's in Love with You is the name of it.
Well, something fascinating is coming up on my watch. For everybody, it's 3:33, and in a few seconds, it'll be also 33 seconds, so it'll be all threes on my watch.
I see.
Fascinating! Oh, 3:33, isn't that fascinating?
I guess.
The only time of the day it's like that.
Okay.
Isn't that fascinating? Yep.
You know, I was thinking maybe we should play that Name That tune between the both of you, you know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that too. And even though I'm asking you questions, Misha, you don't have to turn around to answer me. Neat song.
Yep.
This is a pretty old song, Misha. Beautiful song.
It is.
And that is called This Guy's in Love with You. That's the name of that song. It was written by a composer in the 1960s named Burt Bacharach. But of course, a famous trumpeter named Herb Alpert made it famous when he introduced it to the world. That's pretty cool too. So, sitting in with us today is the Man of Steel, Superman.
Yep. Yep.
I forgot my candelabra, which is so unusual. I can't believe I walked out of the house and forgot my candle.
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
Well, I had a handful when I came down here anyway. I had the bubbly cider, and I had my autobiography, and I had my notes from Misha in the last show and stuff. And human error, I just walked out there and forgot my candles. So we got Superman sitting in. Superman is my candelabra for today, so... Human error.
Yep.
Human error. So, Misha, do you like any superheroes by chance? Do you have any, like Wonder Woman? Do you like Wonder Woman, Batgirl, or any of those?
I like the Hawk and the Incredible, the Bionic Man.
Oh, that's interesting that you say that because, you know, I do that news program, Wake Up Missoula, and and just last week I did a story on both the Incredible Hulk and the $6 Million Man. I did a story on both of those just last week. Now, the $6 Million Man, you might find this interesting. Do you remember the scene at the beginning when Steve Austin is flying the plane before it crashes? At the very beginning? Well, anyway, there was a test pilot in real life named Bruce Peterson that was actually flying a test craft, May 10, 1967, and he crashed in real life, and he actually hit the ground at about 250 miles an hour, and the plane flipped over 6 times. And he was recorded saying, "Flight comm, I can't hold it, she's breaking up. So they took those words when they created the scene with Steve Austin crashing. So I just thought that was an interesting bit of history.
Interesting.
There. Yeah, that actually happened. Of course, they didn't have bionic parts, so Peter was a walk around with, you know, superhuman strength. But I just found that interesting that they did take that little tragic part to put into the series for the $6 Million Man. And then, of course, the Incredible Hulk. The story I did on that, that's the best Hulk, you know, with Bill Bixby and...
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the Incredible Hulk myself.
Well, basically, the synopsis of that showed Bixby's character is Dr. David Banner. And he wants to tap into the human strengths of human beings in his laboratory. So he puts himself up under the laboratory machine. And he gets exposed to gamma rays in the experiment. So whenever he gets angry, his body does a metamorphosis and he turns into the Hulk. And so in the series, he's trying to figure out a way to cure himself. So he lives a life of a transient vagabond, just going from place to place, job to job, because everybody thought that Dr. David Banner died. So he had to carry that off as though everybody died until he finds a cure to keep him from turning into the Hulk. But it was just an interesting show. I saw the actor Lou Ferrigno in real life.
Cool.
In real life, I did. The actor that played the Hulk.
Oh.
He was so huge.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I saw him in Hercules, the old Hercules movies from the 80s, yeah.
Beautiful song.
Yeah. Oh, that's on the tip of my
I
tongue.
left my heart in
Oh,
San
yes,
Francisco.
yes.
Have you ever been to San Francisco, Misha?
No, I have not.
I've never been there either.
Oh, neither one of you.
No.
Well, in San Francisco, for real, they have what's called the Embarcadero and the I can't think of that. I'm just going brain dead right now. Pier 39. I don't know if you ever heard of that or not. And they actually played that song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. It's like the theme song. A very young Tony Bennett version of that song. So.
Yeah.
But if you ever get to go to San Francisco, for real, either one of you, it's quite an experience. It's very different.
Don't they really have that huge bridge, Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah,
Gate Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, Golden Gate Bridge, yeah.
Gate Bridge. Now, can you actually walk on that bridge as a pedestrian or not?
Probably not. I think if you walked on that bridge, it'd probably have to be some kind of an event going on or something.
Yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, and it looks like a very
really big bridge in real life, and it's like two-level bridge, like one going into the city on the top floor, and when you're leaving the city, it's on the bottom floor going out. It's like two separate bridges in one, if I had to describe it.
And I'm afraid of heights. I don't think I'd want to be on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, you have nothing to worry about. It's just that bridge is so secure. You
That's
put
good.
a Mack truck on it.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
It's very, very solid. That bridge is not going to fall. But it's a beautiful scenery when you can see what little you can see, because see, they got like the rails on the outside protecting you too, so you don't see much when you're on it. But it's a pretty cool sight though. And it's cool to see that bridge when you're not like on it. You're like at a distance and you turn around and look at it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I know they probably have good restaurants in San Francisco.
Oh
but
gosh, they have some of the best foods there. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely. The only thing I don't like about San Francisco is it can get pretty wild there.
That's the problem. That's the problem with me.
It's
in
a
big
beautiful
cities.
city, but I personally wouldn't want to live there.
Nor
because
I, no.
It can get pretty
That's
rough,
the problem,
It can get pretty
yeah.
wild. But overall, it is a beautiful city, and
Mhm.
it does have excellent food and excellent
Probably good
entertainment.
buffets. I love buffets.
Oh,
All
yeah.
you can eat buffets.
I don't
love
think
those.
you can beat San Francisco,
Mhm.
especially the Pier 39 when you go to some of the restaurants where they have the seafoods and stuff, because, they're right at the bay. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just like in Connecticut, when I went to Connecticut for the World Games, my
Uh-huh.
family went and got lobster right off the boat. It was
yeah,
awesome.
that's kind of what it's like in San Francisco.
It was awesome.
Yeah, just neat. I'm gonna play a No Karen Carpenter song. You know this song?
Yes, see. Oh, Yep.
Close to.
Yep. That's it.
Okay, I'll play it for you guys.
Well, I think I know the song "Close to You."
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, because I was envisioning doing the dishes. I've heard this when I'm doing dishes. I'm doing, listening to easy listening. So sometimes if I can transport myself mentally back to my home, do dishes, put them on "Close to You." That's it. Yeah, "Close to You." That's Oh, I love dishwashers too, not just washers and dryers. I love dishwashers too.
Those keys aren't working that well. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I think it's great playing myself.
Thank you.
If we were at home and I had a pile of dishes to do, while you were listening to playing this piano, I'd probably be doing the dishes and putting them away, doing housework. I can't do housework without easy listening or something on the radio I want. I can't do chores in silence. I just can't, Same with homework. When I was in high school, I had to have music with homework.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't do it silently. Well, I did for a long time when I was in elementary school, but I don't know how I did it. I didn't do it well.
Yeah, these keys are not working that well. This is a beautiful song.
It is.
Listen to that.
Close to you.
I might just freeze right there. Close to You by the Carpenters.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. That was that group. I just really liked the Carpenters. They had such a great sound in their time. They just did. It was amazing the sound that group had.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Richard was quite the pianist and quite the composer, obviously, for them to come out with those hits like they did. And I think the 60s and 70s was just such an interesting time music.
It was very much
really
so.
was. They just had some fun songs.
They did some
in
beautiful
those
ones.
years. But the Carpenters, they just were like so unique,
Yeah,
one of a kind. That group.
yeah. Occasionally they'll play the Carpenters on easy listening 947 on
Well,
Charter.
Karen was blessed with such a beautiful
Yeah,
voice.
the instrumentals.
Yeah. And let's see, I don't know how much knowledge you know about the music in the 60s. Hold on, you want to come in and sit in? All right, take it easy. Yeah, we have a guest outside. We thought we were going to have another guest coming in. Sometimes that happens in the middle of a taping. Somebody will come in.
Yep.
Well, anyway, getting back to the 60s, they had some really fun music. And Karen Carpenter, I know you're familiar with her. They just had it. They were on top. Top of the World was one of their hits too, couldn't I think
Oh
of
yeah,
that?
on top of
Yeah,
the
that
world,
was
looking
good.
down on creation, and I'm spinning around in the washing machine, or something like that.
Oh, no, it wasn't like that.
Oh, I just made that up, I know it wasn't like that. I just made that up.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That was always one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, we just were blessed to have
Yeah.
that group. And let's see, whatever groups of the 60s, there was, what's his name? I'll play the song, tell me if you know it.
Stevie Wonder was there. Oh, in the 60s too.
Swingin' Safari.
Yes. Something like
that
that.
was very good, yep.
Yeah. That was Burt Kempfert.
Yep.
He was a famous band leader, Burt Kempfert.
Mhm.
And they called him the hit maker because he could come out with a bunch of tunes and all these fun songs like this.
Yep. Didn't he also do African Beat or something like that? African.
I don't know.
You know, Burt Kempfert, you know.
I think he did. But, you know, he was called the hit maker because everything that man ever did, people loved it. And it was a simple music. It was fun music.
Yeah.
Burt Kempfert, the Carpenters. Let's see. Let me think of some other people from the past that had easy listening music. There was. Tell me if you know this song, Misha.
I heard a little bit before. I just can't remember the name.
Here's the verse.
San Jose.
Yeah.
What? San Jose, yes. That's it. Take me down to San Jose, yep. I love that song. I love that song. That's a beautiful song. I love that song.
Do you know the way to San Jose is the name of that song?
Yep.
That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Misha, tell me if you've heard this song.
Downtown.
Yep. They played that on the Lawrence Welk show a couple of times, yep. Yep. You got it right, yep.
Petula Clark was her name, the lady that made that song famous. I saw her in concert once. She came to Sacramento and she did an outdoor concert at the K Street Mall downtown at the time. And it was just, you know, it was a literal shopping mall, but everybody, it was an outdoor mall. Instead of it just being a mall, everybody's out. This was a literal outdoor mall. The way they had it designed. You could go inside stores, but the mall itself, the hallways, the corridors were just literally outside. There was no awning or covering. It's hard to explain.
You know, I had a dream about that years ago that I was at an outdoor mall.
Well,
I had a dream of, literally, I forgot about that dream. I had a dream about that years ago.
Outdoor mall, and
wow! And I dreamed it up. Wow!
Well, they probably had that for like the last 50 years or more. But anyway, Petula Clark did an appearance there in front of a Macy's store, and she did her regular songs in her concert. It was like an hour-long concert. And I remember thinking, I know she's going to sing that somewhere in there. And when she finally did sing Downtown, she did a long, extended version. And I remember thinking, this is way cool.
Yeah.
Watching Petula Clark in real life sing that Downtown.
Fascinating.
I went home smiling after that. She had that gorgeous blonde hair, and she was just great singers in her own right. And there were other singers of the past too. Let's see, let's do some more. Let me think of some singers of the past. You mentioned Stevie Wonder. Yeah, he fits in that.
Do you remember ABBA?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't be able to play any of their songs.
I'm not the biggest fan of ABBA, but I like some of their easy listening songs like Fernando, or some of their other stuff.
Yeah, I remember. I wouldn't be able to. Let's see. Tell me if you know this song here.
They were in the movie Mamma Mia.
Oh, I did not
And
know
a lot
that.
of songs were in ABBA was in Mamma Mia.
Don't recognize that?
Nope.
That is a song called Rocket. Herbie Hancock.
Oh,
It
fascinating.
was kind of a computerized. Never mind. Well, anyway, let's see what this song. I tried to pick that out just now, so I bet if I perfected that, I can get it like I really want it. And then, of course, they had a lot of fun TV shows in the
Yeah.
60s.
Like
Yeah, I got to
Sep-
see
like the-
Stevie Wonder. He went to
You saw
the.
him in concert?
He was on stage for the Special Olympic World Games.
Oh, excellent.
He's
What?
saying, he's saying
Oh.
that's what friends are for.
Oh, yeah. Just if I can remember.
Like the Superfriends. Well, the Superfriends was in the 60s and 70s, wasn't it? Or 80s?
70s.
Yeah.
And he did a few other songs, but I can't remember all the songs, but I remember that one.
Something like that.
Yeah, yep, that's the one.
Something like that, yeah. That's what friends are for. So, yeah, speaking of Super Friends, yeah, that came out in the 70s.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon, yeah.
And that, in fact, when I was a little boy growing up, that was one of my favorite
Mhm.
cartoons. It was basically all the superheroes got together as one.
Mhm.
Like Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman, The Flash,
Yep.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
And they were fighting the Legion of Doom, which
Yes, that was
Luthor
excellent.
and
That
all
was
the other
challenge-
bad
yep.
guys that got together.
That was Challenge of the Super Friends. That was very good.
Yeah, that and it was, you know, Ted Knight was the actor that was doing the narration, and it was always fun to listen to him narrate what was going on in the scenes. It was just fun. And they had those Wonder Twins. Wonder
Wonder
powers!
Twins!
Activate!
Activate! I love that.
Yeah, and they put the ring
Yeah,
together, all of a sudden
yeah.
they get all strong and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was just
I
such a
love the
fun
Wonder
cartoon.
Twin. Yeah, Wonder
That was
Twin,
just such a fun cartoon.
Yeah, it
about
was.
The Super Friends. Let's see if I can figure it out. And there's something like something like that.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, I loved the Super Friends. They used to have them on Cartoon Network.
Something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah. I really enjoyed the Super Friends, Challenge of the Super Friends. Because also the Legion of Doom was headed up by Lex Luthor, and he got all
Yeah.
the bad guys together to rule
Yeah.
the world, yeah.
And then it was always cool because the good guys always won.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
And they had this real cool music at the end. Dun, dun, dun,
Yes,
dun,
yes,
dun.
yes, absolutely.
And then there's Superman standing like this, and
Yes.
there's all the rest of them. And then that music was just so cool. Those trumpets were blasting those
Yeah,
loud,
that was
those
great.
ta-da! You know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just kind of fun. It was so fun
And
watching
also in
that.
1985, the Hootie and the Blowfish were performing too at our.
At the Special Olympic Games?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Mm.
Cool. Well, that's way cool.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, they don't seem to make groups and cartoons and
I
things like
know.
that much anymore these days.
It was interesting.
So-
There was even an earlier version of the Super Friends where they weren't fighting the Legion of Doom.
I remember that. It was
That
the
was
original
good, too.
Super Friends. That was pretty
That
cool.
was good too.
They had Marvin and Wendy originally.
Yes.
Marvin
yes.
and Wendy, they didn't have no powers. They were just kids. And they had the Wonder Dog.
Yes, yeah, the
That was
Wonder
the original Super
I
Friends.
like
And
that,
then they
too.
had the Wonder Twins later.
Yeah, that was a Challenge of the
So,
Super Friends.
yeah, that was so cool.
One time, even, you wouldn't believe it, folks, and I had to record this. I didn't record the whole episode, but for some reason, Superman was guarding a water cooler or some sort of air conditioning unit on top of a building. I don't know why. I think the villains were out to get these air conditioning units. This was in the older version, and he was guarding this air conditioning unit on top of a building or water cooler. Isn't that interesting? Yep.
These keys they don't, I forget that. I'm not going to try to play that. I can't do it on this. The keys aren't fast enough on this thing. But anyway, yeah, the Super Friends was a fun cartoon. to
Yeah, it
watch.
was.
When I was a little boy, we had a rule in our house, me and my brother and my sister, because it was Saturday morning. They used to show all these cartoons all
I
day
remember
long on
Saturday morning cartoons, yeah.
and they showed them from like 7 in the morning to about 1 in the afternoon. Just nothing but
Yep,
cartoons.
yeah, I love that.
So we had this rule that said the first one of us that woke up got to control of the television
Ooh.
to watch whatever cartoon they wanted.
Oh.
Because they had cartoons on like all 3 networks. when
I
was a
remember
boy
that,
growing
yeah.
up. And so like if I was the first one to wake up, then if I wanted to say channel 13 for example, or if my sister woke up first, then she got to watch whatever the cartoon she wanted to watch. And I usually woke up first. I always wound up watching all the superheroes. But
Good.
it was fun, and they put them one after the other
Yeah.
when I was a little boy growing up.
Yeah, I would switch back and forth to channels to get the cartoons that I wanted. Because I didn't want all of them. I wanted the science fiction ones, but you know.
Yeah, I know, I understand it, but I mean, whoever got control of the TV, so that was kind of a fun thing when we were kids growing up. And sometimes my brother would wake up first, and then he'd get control of the TV. And most of the stuff that he watched, I liked anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or some of the stuff I watched, my brother and sister liked anyway, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah. I always watch Saturday morning cartoons and then relaxed. I call it flopping around when you just relax
but
around
can you
the
imagine
house.
sitting in front of the set from 7 in the morning to about 1 in the afternoon? We
Yeah,
literally did that.
amazing,
Like
yeah.
my mom
Cool.
would make a lunch and just bring it in the living room. We'd just
Cool.
sit there watching television all day.
Cool, that's wonderful.
All those cartoons. And you know, I used to watch the original Flash.
Yeah.
You know, when he's by himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know his powers? He ran around the Earth 8 times in 1 second.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That was fast.
I never saw the original Flash.
The original Flash cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And then they had some other originals too, like the original Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh yeah, I remember that from the 70s. I liked that. That's the only thing of Spider-Man I did like.
They had, oh gosh, I think they had a Batman and Robin original cartoon too.
Yeah, I remember that one. I didn't like it too much. Yeah. I remember it, yeah.
But I thought it was more fun watching them as the Superfriends.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So, if you could be a superhero, Misha, who would you be?
Who would I be?
Yeah, of all the superheroes you can think of, if you could be a superhero, who would you want to be?
The Bionic Woman.
There you go.
I'd be Superman.
Yeah, probably. I want to be one that can fly.
Yeah, I would.
In case the Earth blows up, you can fly off the planet and go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Speaking of the Bionic Woman, though, that's interesting you said that because Lee Majors, the actor that played the $6 Million Man, he won the, I think it was the 2004 TV Land Award for Best Superhero.
Mm-hmm.
For real, in real life, he actually won the award for his portrayal of Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's fascinating.
A bit of interesting history there. Let's see, and you have any brothers and sisters, Misha?
I have a sister.
Does she live here in Missoula?
She lives in Stevensville.
Okay, is she older than you?
Younger.
Younger? Okay. So did you and her watch a bunch of superheroes when you were kids growing up? Like Wonder Woman and...
Yeah, we watched cartoons, yeah.
I think everybody watched cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore, hardly.
No, they don't really
That's
do
what they
that
said.
much
You have to get
anymore.
cable, and I think the Cartoon Network, some of those others are lousy as far as their Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I don't
They don't play
particularly-
science fiction anymore. And science
Well, I don't care for some of the cartoons that are out there today anyway.
Yeah.
So, like that cartoon with that talking dog, that white talking dog with that dysfunctional family.
Oh, I do not like it. That's called what is it? Family Guy.
Yeah, I don't care
like it.
for
No, I don't.
I don't think any of those cartoons are funny at all.
No.
I think they're very inappropriate, most of them.
Yeah,
I've
I think
seen
they are. I think they are.
Some of those, but like when I was a kid, the real fun cartoons, they had them all.
Yeah, they did.
Archie and
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
and Jughead and
I remember that. Yep.
Josie and the Pussycats. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Jetsons.
The Jetsons.
I remember
yeah.
that. Yep.
Elroy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was fun about the Jetsons when I was a little boy, because they didn't have the computers and stuff and Skype at that time. So when you watch the Jetsons, it seemed so futuristic at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's almost like the Jetsons are here and are real. I mean, we've got Skype.
Mm-hmm.
You can see your person on a monitor like they did on the Jetsons.
Yeah, but we don't have robots
There's a
doing
flying car
No,
now.
no.
I saw it on Facebook.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I did see that they were going to try to come up with that on World News, I believe.
You mean robots doing our laundry for us?
No. We're talking about flying cars
Oh,
and
okay.
flying
Mhm.
objects. They had a thing called a fly mow, which is supposed to be a flying lawnmower. You know the lawnmowers have wheels? Well, this one floats up in the air and cuts your grass, and you just go like this. They had that on I don't know how they sold, but it's just amazing the technology we have in this country.
Yeah.
It's just really amazing and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't go to people don't go to the moon as tourists, and we don't have robots doing our laundry for
Well,
us.
no, but you
Doing
know,
our dishes
stuff
for
we
us.
do have, like in the
Yeah.
computer age, it's pretty amazing. Especially Skype.
Mm.
Skype is really amazing.
Yeah.
I know what I was going to talk about. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about a young lady friend of mine that lives in Ho Chi Minh City.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Dan Bai.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been Skyping for months now.
Oh, wonderful.
So Dan, if you're watching this when I send it to you, hello to everybody out there in Vietnam. Yeah, she's a nice young lady. She just sends me notes on Facebook and Skype and stuff like that, and I can see her on the monitor because they're 14 hours ahead of Ho Chi Minh City for real. And it's just really amazing that somebody that lives halfway around the world, I can just instantly talk to
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
or send them a note in seconds.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to acknowledge her, and she'll be seeing this show eventually, probably by tonight. So
Fascinating.
Anyway, Dan, enjoy watching this segment of Asaph Cafe. Her family in Ho Chi Minh City's been watching this show too.
Oh, fascinating.
It's something? Yeah. So it's just amazing. Just really amazing. So she's a nice young woman. She's only 28 years old or 29, something like that. But it's just amazing, the technology.
Yeah.
Skype, Facebook, emails, you know, like Hotmail and all the rest. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a little boy growing up, you had to, if you wanted to write someone overseas, it would take about 2 to 3 weeks for a letter.
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
to
I
them.
remember that.
So you were lucky if you got 1 or 2 letters a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to have to sit down and write everything out.
Yeah,
now
right.
You can now you can type it out on the
That's right.
on internet, and it's
Actually, I prefer snail mail. It's a little more personal. You can save all your letters.
Second.
Yeah, it may be personal, but I tell you, it's very convenient when you want to just instantly, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know, just a thought. Let's see, what else? All right,
I had a pen pal years ago. I lost contact with him. I think he moved away. This is when I was a punk rocker. I had heard it from a punk rock magazine that there was a 25-year-old man, you know, living in Germany who loved the Pistols, Sex Pistols, punk rock, 1980s, 70s type of thing. And I said, that's my generation too. That's what I am. I'm 25 too. So I wrote him, and we became like best friends, you know, just through the mail. And we talked about our lives, what it's like to be a punk rocker, the persecutions we had, our bands, and we were like best friends. We shared pictures of each other, but it was all in snail mail. But I finally lost contact with him. He said he kind of moved away from Berlin, Germany. He couldn't stand it. But
he was overseas?
Yeah, he was in Berlin, Germany, yeah. But yeah, he was a really cool guy, Wally. He was really cool. Really great friend. I loved him like a brother. He was just like a brother to me. And I never met him, but he was a wonderful person, you know.
Uh-huh. This is such a cool song. Do you know this song, Misha? Have you ever heard it? It's called the Symphony in A by Beethoven. Symphony in A is the name of that song. That's an actual Beethoven piece. That's just my little generic piano version.
Fascinating.
It's not really a piano song. It's really an orchestral song. And it's pretty cool when all the instruments are doing that melody I just got through playing.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
Dun, dun, dun. They played that on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I'm sure they do, but it's
They
called the
did.
Symphony in A.
Yes, yes.
It's a cool song.
Yeah, Data was giving a music recital, classical music recital, and he invited Sarek and his wife and some of the dignitaries from Vulcan to go see it, you know, the musical recital. It was a very good episode.
Is that the one where Sarek started crying?
Yes, that's the one.
I remember that episode.
That was a very good episode. That was one of their best.
See, Vulcans don't cry.
They don't have emotion.
So-
They don't show emotion emotionally.
So when Sarek started crying, it was a sign that he was sick
Yeah.
in the science fiction world.
Uh-huh.
And he died a short time after that.
Yeah, he had what was known as Ben-D syndrome. Ben-Di
That
syndrome.
Ben-Di syndrome that Vulcans get, and they start showing emotion.
And all that emotion bottled up just pours out and they can't control it. And
Yeah.
psychically it was affecting everyone. Everyone was fighting among the crew because psychically he was projecting his repressed emotions to everyone. It's just, you know.
Yeah, it's just one of those episodes.
It was
that,
very good. It was very good. Well done.
Yeah, but Sarek was, Spock's father was so cool.
Yeah, he
Did
was.
you remember the original Star Trek episode? I don't know if you saw that one when they had, it was called the Tower of Babel.
Yes, that was
The
very
episode.
good.
It was just like the kind of the Tower of Babel in the Bible a little
Yeah.
bit, where they had all these different people from different cultures, and they of course they were aliens, though,
The
like
aliens,
different
yeah.
cultures. And so there was a scene where they were going to have a peace treaty, and Sarek had to cast a vote. And so there was this Telemite guy. He was like, looked like a little bear. How do you vote, Vulcan?
Yeah.
Your vote carries weight, and if you vote, then everybody else will join you. And then they got into this fight.
Yeah.
So when the Telemite creature went after Sarek, he's standing like this, right? He's just standing like this, and all of a sudden he just goes like this. All he did was just open his hands, and the guy goes flying way back to the wall. He was just so cool.
Yeah, that was very good. That was a very good episode.
Real exciting conversation for you. I know, Misha. It's a guy thing.
Yeah.
It's a guy thing.
Yeah.
So, did you see my autobiography by chance?
No, I have not.
Take a peek real quick. We're just goofing off here.
Oh, I agree. That's the part of the Asaph Cafe. That's
Yeah,
the
I know,
Asaph
just
Cafe. I love it.
goofing off here. We did most of the serious talk on the first show. And we only got about 15 minutes left, guys.
Wow, time
It's
flies
amazing
when you're
how
having
time
fun.
flies.
That's
Yep.
a good picture of you.
Thank you. That's where I got the idea to call that book Supermarket Pianist, because that is the Paddy Creek Market. I don't know if you recognize it.
Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times.
I used to play at that store. Well, I do on occasion, off and on, but at the time when I first did it, I did it regularly, and I played at that store for 3 years.
Wow.
Time just flies. That lady right there is my mom. Right there. Oh, the next page. That's my mom.
Oh.
She's not my biological mom.
Yeah.
But she's my mom.
Mhm.
I love her dearly. You saw her, that picture of her,
Mhm.
yeah. So her name is Lois Stevens, and she's just a real sweetie. Hi, Mom, if you see this episode. Yeah, I love her very dearly.
Wonderful.
So, you know how you read it. I'll tell you how she became my mom. Well, I'd known her since I was a little boy. She lived close to my parents. And I had some abuse issues growing up and that sort of thing. And I had this relationship with Mrs. Stevens. At that time, she was one of my Sunday school teachers as a kid, you know, stuff like that. But her son, she had a son named Tom who was born on the same date as me,
Wow.
October 26th. And when Tom passed away, then that's how I became her son.
That's cool.
And I just thought it was such a beautiful story to tell that, because I wanted to ease her pain. Because, see, Mrs. Stevens, first she lost her husband of 57 years, and then she lost her son less than a year after that. So that's a double whammy, you know, for a human being to have to endure.
Yeah.
And so I contacted her. I said, look, Tom and I were born on the same date. I'm going to be your son. And this was years ago, obviously. And she's been calling me son ever since. I call her mom. And it's just like, as far as I'm concerned, she's my mom.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've known her all my life, so
Mhm.
she's a real sweetheart. I love her dearly, so.
Wonderful.
Sweetie. But anyway, Misha, it took me 2 years to write that book.
Wow.
The name of the book is called Supermarket Pianist.
Yeah.
And it's based on playing at the Paddy Creek Market. I had been writing that book for about a year before I came up with the title.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody took a picture of me playing at the Paddy Creek Market, and then you can't see yourself when you're on the inside looking out. It's like you can see everybody else except for yourself. So somebody showed me that picture a short time after it was taken, and the idea came. That's going to be my
Yeah, yeah.
title, Supermarket Pianist.
Yep.
That's the idea. So this neat book. I'm blessed to have this book.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people just don't have good family upbringing.
Yeah.
And I've learned how to forgive that and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But I wrote this book basically
Yeah.
to try to help other people
Mhm.
and tell my own story. It
Yeah,
was very
yeah.
therapeutic and healing
Yeah.
when I wrote the book. So you can get a copy of this at Fact and Fiction,
Uh-huh.
Hastings, or Garden of Reading. Get that way too. Or if you go on Amazon, it's cheaper. Amazon.com and just put
Mhm.
Supermarket Pianist. Okay, let's see if you guys know this song here.
Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, everybody knows Jeopardy.
Uh-huh.
That's just such a cool theme song. I don't want to play it again, but anyway, yeah, that's a neat song. I think that song will go down in TV history.
Oh yeah, it will.
That song. My parents used to watch Jeopardy, but they had another host at that time before Alex Trebek.
Mm-hmm.
Was a guy named Art Fleming. I don't know if you ever remember him or.
No, I don't.
No.
He was smooth.
And my favorite show was to watch Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, let's see if I can play. Something like
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, something like that. I don't know how to
Yeah.
play that song. But anyway, Art Fleming was the original host of Jeopardy.
Or The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, The
Bob
Price is
Barker.
Right. Oh yeah.
Bob Barker. He was. He had another game show before The Price is Right.
What? Yeah.
It was a show called Truth or Consequences.
Oh, interesting.
My parents used to watch that show, so that's how come I remember it. And
You know, when I was talking last show about Spencer Barker,
Mhm.
Bob Barker is one of his relatives.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Wasn't there a show $500 Pyramid or $5,000 Pyramid?
$10,000 pyramid.
$10,000 Pyramid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was hosted by Dick Clark.
Uh huh.
And then Donny Osmond went on to host it after that. I really liked it when Donny Osmond was hosting
Mhm.
it. In fact, I kind of liked it more when Donny Osmond was hosting it than when Dick Clark was.
I just remember seeing it as a little kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Donny Osmond. I thought he was a great host.
Mhm.
It was so fun watching
Yeah,
him
yeah.
host that game on TV. And I remember, he's
Or
a singer
name
too.
that tune.
Yeah, and he's a singer, And I remember one time I was watching him host it, and you know how they have like a theme music?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he sang a couple of bars of a song. I don't remember what the song was, and I watched that. I was like, man, that is quite good. He just did like a few lines of a song, just
Mhm.
impromptu, and then the theme music started.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was always fun watching Donny Osmond on that $10,000 pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And that game got fancy. It got up to about 20,000 for a while,
Yeah.
something like that. So.
Yeah, 10,000 was a lot back then. That was a lot of money
Yeah,
back
if you
then.
had $10,000 in the 70s, and that'd be like having maybe 50,000.
I know.
Or more. So, but it was a different time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's play another Name That Tune here. Let's see if I can think of a song here. Let's see. I want to think of something I think Misha would know too. Let's see. Misha, see if you know this one.
I heard that song before, but I just can't remember the name of it.
I'll do it again.
I should know it. It's a show I used to watch. It's a television program, and I used to watch Dum 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 Dum.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's it. It was a movie.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the original one. That was the theme song. So,
I liked the first two Raiders of the Lost Ark movies, but then I did not like the one about the Holy Grail, and I didn't like the one about the Crystal Skull.
well, they had 3 of those before those 2 came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And it was kind of interesting watching Sean Connery on the 3rd one. He was Indiana Jones' father.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But no, I think the first one was probably the best
That
one.
was the best. That was the
Probably
best.
The best one. So, and that scene when that martial arts guy comes up with that sword, he's like,
Yeah, I love that.
and Harrison Ford just takes out that gun and just goes,
That was hilarious.
yeah, let's settle that real quick.
Yeah.
And then they tried it again, I think it was in number 3,
Mhm.
and he didn't have no bullets in the gun or something like that. The first one, they, sometimes when they come up with a classic line or an idea, they should just quit while they're
Yeah, I agree.
So, anyway. But that's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Name of that.
Mhm.
So, we're running out of time, guys. We got about 10 minutes left, and that's it. Party's over.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, time just goes by so fast.
Oh, it does.
And sometimes when I just want to just do a casual Asaph Cafe and just shoot the breeze, it's just fun.
It is. It's wonderful.
And I think we covered a lot of stuff between, the first show with the Special Olympics. So I wanted to focus on the Special Olympics.
Right,
on the first
right.
one. And and we're talking about the Wonder Twins, Superfriends, and all that, and Misha trying to get a tune out of her, and name that tune and all the rest of that stuff. Just so fun. Just so fun. All right, here's a song. I'm gonna see if you guys know it.
Yes, that's Spider-Man from the 70s, the Spider-Man cartoon. Oh, it isn't.
You don't know it?
No.
Can't remember.
All right, here's the conclusion. I'll do an octave higher. That's the theme to a television show called Tarzan.
Oh, okay.
With Ron Ely, the actor. I'll do it again to see if you recognize it.
Yeah, I never watched Tarzan.
I don't remember if I watched Tarzan.
Recognize it now?
Not really.
Never was a fan of the Tarzan concept for some reason.
Well, it was fine. There was an actor named Ron Ely, and he was probably the best Tarzan ever. I mean, he was young, handsome, he was real built. I mean, he was really handsome. Not that he wasn't good looking when he was older, but he had that Tarzan look.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would beat them bad guys up, boy, he used to beat those bad guys
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Because he could kick, you know. He could take his foot and just kick a guy upside the head, and it wasn't like martial arts style.
Yeah.
He just could kick. He just was able to do that, along with punch and all this other stuff. But yeah, his name was Ron Ely, and that was the theme song to the Tarzan television series. But I didn't know if you guys knew that or not.
No.
No.
Well, there are a lot of shows from the past that are pretty much forgotten now.
Mhm.
Another show that's pretty much forgotten. Have you ever heard of a show called The White Shadow?
No, never heard of it.
It had a theme song that went something like this. Recognize it?
Nope.
Oh, never mind. Well, anyway, basically what this is about, it starred Ken Howard. I don't know if you guys would even know him. But anyway, Ken Howard was this retired basketball player for the Chicago Bulls, his character, because of a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a job in the inner city. He's a white coach. He takes a
Mhm.
job in inner city with African American kids and Hispanic kids, and he puts a great basketball team together in those inner city neighborhoods. And he called it The White Shadow.
Huh.
It only lasted about 3 seasons. The critics hailed the show. They really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was groundbreaking because it's one of the first dramas at that time to have an almost African American cast at
Mhm.
that time. And the topics they covered then were tame compared to today's standards.
Oh, yeah.
They talked about things like VD and sexual transmitted diseases and
Yeah.
drugs. And,
Yeah.
you know, not that hardcore stuff like somebody getting a knife in their neck
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that, like today. But it was a popular show, probably I think around 1978, something like that.
Huh.
But it's
Interesting.
probably forgotten now. But yeah, it was called The White Shadow, so I don't even think anybody would even remember.
Oh! Oh, I hate those things.
Is that a bee?
That's a fly.
Oh. Well, I don't want to crunch you with my book.
Well, maybe he wants to be part of the show. Maybe he wants to be a guest. I don't know.
It's way over that way now.
Yep.
I can't get these keys to work fast. I can't do it on this.
That's the Bumblebee song from Neil Diamond.
I can't do it
on
on
this
this
phone.
phone. These keys aren't quick enough to do that.
Yeah.
Ah, forget it. The keys won't go fast enough on that. But yeah, that's the my little feeble attempt at Flight of the Bumblebee.
Fly like the bumblebee.
That was a good song. I like that by Neil Diamond. I have that on tape. Very good.
Yeah, is he playing it or I know he's got to be singing. He's got to be playing it.
Yeah, he was both playing it and singing it, or someone was playing it and he was singing it. Fly, Bumblebee, fly, fly
Oh, okay,
Bumblebee.
I see. Yeah,
The Bumblebee Boogie, the Bumblebee Boogie. You know, the Bumblebee's
who
out
made
the
that song originally famous? The Bumblebee Boogie was a pianist named Jack Fina. He used to
interesting.
play with Freddie Martin in 1947, I believe.
I didn't know that.
And then, of course, Liberace got around to doing his version.
Oh,
of it,
cool.
which I don't think there's any version as good as Liberace's version, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that was back in the 40s and early 50s. And we can't forget Roger Williams. He had his version of Flight of the Bumblebee, which I thought was pretty incredible, too.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Roger Williams' version was used in the cartoon of the Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the title of, but they had this bee floating around. He's trying to get this balloon or something. And so they were using Roger Williams' version on the soundtrack.
Cool. Was it sung, you know, the bumblebee's out tonight, he loves the nectar?
No, there were no words on it. It was just a musical thing there,
Diamond.
Roger Williams' version.
Okay.
But Jack Fina did the original Bumble Boogie. It went something like this.
Yep, that was Neil Diamond, yep. Yep.
I don't know how to do that, but it was something like
Yeah,
that.
it was, yep.
I bet if I were to practice that, maybe a few months from now, I might be able to really do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's called the Bumble Boogie, and
Yeah, I love the Neil Diamond version. He sings about it too.
well, that's
so
cool.
dramatic.
I'm
very
sure he
cool.
does, but yeah, that came from Jack Fina, and it was interesting because when he just started, they didn't have like a 1, 2. He just sat in front of the piano.
Yeah, Neil Diamond is so talented. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Something like that. Yeah. And he took his right hand was doing the Bumblebee melody, and they had this little band. It was Freddie Martin's orchestra, I believe. So that's just a pretty cool song, and you don't hear that song much these days now.
No, you don't probably. Yeah.
Piano players playing it. I've got the music to it at home. I have the original manuscript
Oh,
to
cool.
that at home.
Mm-hmm.
Just I haven't gotten around to really studying it, and practicing it.
Yeah.
But if I were to practice that consistently every day, I bet about 6 or 7 months from now I'd be able to do it all the way through very comfortably if I just took the time to do that. But classical music is very hard to prepare.
It is, yeah.
Like when I did Moonlight Sonata, I worked on that song for 6 hours every day for 3 weeks until it became second nature.
Cool.
I'll play this song for you guys and then we'll conclude.
Actually, I know it's early spring, it's April, but I actually saw a bumblebee a few weeks ago. I don't see many of them, but I saw one flying around.
Okay.
So the bumblebees are out. There are not many of them, but they're out, Bees are starting to come out,
Yeah.
Misha, if you want to stand right here next to the piano as I play this, I'll show you with my fingers how it's done. I'll stop on that note here. You can just stand right here, and I'll play the song for both of you, and then we'll conclude.
Mm-hmm.
Watch my right hand. See, the pinky does the melody, and the right hand. Can you see the triplets? Those 1, 2, 3. The right hand does the triplets and the melody coming up, as you'll see in a moment. And this song isn't what you would call fast.
Yeah.
But you just have to get used to it. See how my right hand is doing all that? Now watch my pinky. See? The right hand does both of it, see?
Yeah.
That's been used in commercials, but I can't remember which commercial.
Yeah. Well, they've used that in a lot of commercials and
Yeah.
stuff. But see, the right hand does.
Yeah.
See right there?
Yeah, while your other hand does just a little bit of stuff too.
See?
Yep.
And it just takes practice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it together. And then the left hand does the octaves.
Mm-hmm.
And these keys are not working all that good, see? I can't get these keys to work like I want them.
That's pretty cool.
I think the piano sounds fine.
stop on that note right there, but that gives you an idea, see?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I worked on it because I wanted that song to become so second nature. Any last minute final words you want to say? You can look in that
No,
camera there.
I don't have no final words.
All right. Emmett,
I can't think of a surreal joke today. I could think of one if you really wanted me.
Well, no, let's see if I can do a joke. Well, you can sit there and
Okay.
get it back in the camera there.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. All right, here's my joke. If I can think of one. Nope. I can't think how that goes. You know any jokes, Misha?
No.
Well, I guess we'll just conclude this then. I can't think
Yep.
of any jokes here. Well, first of all, let me first give my thanks to the good Lord above for this show, because as I said in the other show, 2 weeks from today will be our 100th episode of Asaph
Wow.
Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And Misha says she starts a new job on
New job this new days.
our new days on her
Mhm.
job. So I wish you all the best on that.
Thank you.
And Emmett, you've got to be part of this 100th show.
Yeah, I've got to be, yeah.
Any final words you want to say, Misha?
No,
Emmett?
final words.
Nope.
All right, well then in that case, ladies and gentlemen, I'll make these acknowledgments. On my right, we have Measha Porter, and she is the ambassador, did I say that right?
Global messenger.
Or messenger for Special Olympics, and you'll be competing, and we wish you all the best. And affectionately, our aging rocker, Emmett, and yeah, we'll have you here 2 weeks from now. It'll be kind of fun.
I can't wait.
And I am Asaph. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very humbled. This 100.
Yeah,
That's a
wonderful.
lot of shows for. Yeah. I'm gonna see if we can take some of the past film footage and put it together there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Superman sitting in with us today. And I appreciate the conversations we had, and we'll just, Lord willing, do it. And 2
Yeah.
weeks from now, we'll do show number 100.
Yep.
So until our next show, ladies and gentlemen, Maranatha. I always freeze on that chord when we go off. Will you guys make yourself at home, and I'll set everything up. And
All right.
So, and Misha, you'll be going home with me.
Yep.